I don't know who I am.
I don't know who I am.
Who am I? Hi, so I've decided to do a personality test. I've seen this one going around for ages and ages and ages. From what I understand, I just have to answer a few questions and it will tell me my personality traits. I will try to answer them honestly. You regularly make new friends. Oh dear. Okay, well I'm definitely on this side of things. I feel like it's not been helped by the fact that I've been in another country where I don't speak the language fluently. It's left me a little bit isolated. I would love to make friends at my work, but I don't work with many people who are my age, so it's regularly that's getting me. I don't regularly make friends. I occasionally make friends, and when I do, it's a special occasion. I'm gonna have to click disagree. You spend a lot of your free time exploring various random topics that pique your interest. I didn't know that pique was written like that. Oh, that's pique. I would say strongly agree. Seeing other people cry can easily make you feel like you want to cry too. Nah. You often make a backup plan for a backup plan. I think this really depends on what it is. Like, if this is a serious decision, then yes. But if this is just like what we're gonna do next week when we meet up, then perhaps not. I would say agree. You usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. If I'm putting this in the context of how I am when I'm at work, there's a massive, great long queue of people that I need to serve and I haven't got other things done. I'm not going into a panic, but I am running faster and getting annoyed. I'm gonna have to go slightly with disagree, although I wish I was on the other side. At social events, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. If I was in a party and I knew 50% of the people and the other 50% I didn't know, I probably would stick to the people that I did know. You prefer to completely finish one project before starting another. When it comes to reading, yes, because if I start multiple, then none of them will get finished. When it comes to YouTube videos, I feel like I'm forced to start multiple at once because it's difficult to get ahead of your schedule in any other way. If I wasn't forced into some situation or another, I prefer to finish one thing before starting another. I'm gonna strongly agree with it. You are very sentimental. I used to be. I'm not really anymore. I don't know if any of you know what I mean, but I feel like when I lived at home, I just wanted to keep hold of everything. I didn't want to let go of any memories and kept so many sentimental things. But when I moved away, I literally couldn't fit it in my suitcase. And now it's like I haven't seen that stuff in 5 years. I don't really care about most of it anymore. And at the same time, I'm happy throwing out any stuff that I've accumulated here, so... You like to use organising tools like schedules and lists. I do like schedules and lists, but I don't like making schedules and lists. If I've already made them, then I like using them. I'm gonna click agree. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. When was the last time I made a mistake? Now, of course I've made mistakes. I don't think I'm like this. I think I'm quick to forgive myself and I feel like I know what I'm capable of. Then again, some things can knock your confidence. I think I'm gonna go with disagree like this. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. I mean, I wouldn't do that. It's not that I'd find it uncomfortable, it's just that I just wouldn't do that. I think if I found them interesting for a reason, I might get nervous actually. Slightly disagree, because I could still talk to them, yeah. You are not too interested in discussing various interpretations and analysis of creative works. Disagree. I love discussing different variations and the way people think about stuff differently, and I love creative stuff, so yeah, disagree. You are more inclined to follow your head than your heart. Nowadays, yes. One of these two very strongly actually. I just feel like in the past, battles between my head and my heart, whenever I've chosen my heart, that battle has continued. Whereas when I've chosen my head, that battle comes to an end and I can move on with my life. So I just feel like it's practical and less emotionally scarring to just choose your head every time. You usually prefer just doing what you feel like at any given moment instead of planning a particular daily routine. Nah. I feel like doing what I feel like results in loads of procrastination, which in turn makes me feel like shit. Whereas if I actually stick to the plans that I've made in the past and do something productive, then I'm actually happier for it. You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people when you meet. I feel like I really care if I make a good impression, and a lot of the times I feel like I don't. You enjoy participating in group activities. I love participating in group activities. I feel like I haven't really had a group in a while, but it's always been my dream to just have a stable friendship group, and I love group sports far more than sports that you do individually. Agree. You like books and movies that make you come up with your own interpretation of the ending. This can sometimes be really annoying because you're kind of like, well, I'm putting effort into reading a book and tell me what the answer is. Like, if I have to think of the ending of the book myself, then it's like, why did I pay for this book that you wrote if you're not even going to tell me how it ends? I don't know, it can be quite aggravating. At the same time, it does allow freedom and you can think of it however you want. But no, I like to see the ending. Your happiness comes more from helping others accomplish things than your own accomplishments. I love both. If one of my friends comes up to me and says, oh, I kind of want to do this thing, just as a side comment, they say something that they're interested in or something that they want to improve or something that they want to do, then I'm the first one to like get on their back and remind them, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. Like, I love encouraging my friends, but I also am really proud of what I've accomplished. I think helping my friends accomplish what they want to accomplish makes me happier because it sounds weird to say it like this, but it's kind of easier. Like, all you have to do is give a little bit of encouragement and maybe provide them with something, I don't know, and then they do everything themselves and then the accomplishment is shared in a way. Whereas your own accomplishments, you really have to work a lot harder. I think my happiness would come from helping my friends achieve whatever they want to achieve if I was in the situation where I was doing that. But as I'm not doing that right now, that's not the case for me right now. I feel like I would normally pick one of these two, but I'm going to have to go with this one for now. You are interested in so many things that you find it difficult to choose what to try next. I feel like when I have a lot of time, I am like that a lot. I have so many projects which I want to do which are on the go, but when I don't have that much time to think about it, then I kind of forget them, but I still think I am like this. You are prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worse. Yes, but I don't stress about it at all. I'm kind of happy that it is how it is now. Then I'm going to say no. You avoid leadership roles in group settings. Depends on who you're with. If you know that you can do a better job, then... Like, if I know I can do a better job, then I will take the leadership role. But if it's equal, then they can have it. You are definitely not an artistic type of person. Disagree. You think the world would be a better place if people relied more on rationality and less on their feelings. No, I don't think that. I don't know if this is included in the question, but I feel like it's very important to consider other people's feelings. Feelings are important in general. We're not robots at the end of the day. You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax. Agree. That's basically because if you relax first, that relaxation never ends. If I do my chores first, then I finish my chores, then I can relax perfectly, like there's nothing on my mind. Whereas if I relax first, then I'm always stressed at the same time. It's like I'm forcing myself to relax, but I'm not really relaxed at all. You enjoy watching people argue. No. I don't understand why you would enjoy that ever. No. You tend to avoid drawing attention to yourself. Okay. I don't want endless flattery from random people, but I also don't mind wearing a bright green jumper when everyone's wearing black. You know? Okay, I'm gonna go with this. Your mood can change very quickly. I mean, I always get a bit sad around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm not really sure why. I just feel like that's when my energy runs out, but that's predictable. If we're talking about unpredictable changes based on different things, then actually my mood doesn't change that quickly. You lose patience with people who are not as efficient as you. Yeah, this might be one of my flaws. Then again, I'm understanding of the person's situation as well. I don't lose patience when people are not as efficient as me, but I do lose patience when people are not as efficient as they could be. I guess I'll go with agree then. You often end up doing things at the last possible moment. Well, if we're talking about packing to go on holiday, then yeah. Also arriving at places on time, like I'd rather leave as late as possible because I don't want to waste my time waiting at the destination. Then again, if we're talking about things that I'm trying to achieve, I'd like to get ahead so I feel less stressed about them. For example, recording YouTube videos. And sometimes it's useful to be proactive with stuff, like paperwork, especially living in Germany. I don't think I leave things to the last possible moment. You have always been fascinated by the question of what, if anything, happens after death. No, because I believe that nothing happens after death, we just die. So there's not really much like question about it, in my opinion. So I don't really spend any time thinking about it at all. You usually prefer to be around others rather than on your own. If I spend too much time on my own, then I want to meet up with others. And if I spend too much time with others, then I appreciate some time on my own. I feel like if I like the people who I'm about to hang out with, then this can be very neutral. I think, I'll probably have a lot of projects which I really like doing. And sometimes, as much as I love my friends, I feel like if I spend too much time with them, then I'm almost procrastinating my projects. And I don't think that's the healthiest mindset to be in, but it is just how it is at the moment, so I will go slightly disagree then. You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. If it's theory that can be applied to real life scenarios, then I'm alright with it, I'm completely fine. But if it's like just completely stupid, then actually I'm alright with that as well, to be fair. You become bored or lose interest? No. You find it easy to empathise with a person whose experiences are very different from yours. If they explain themselves well, then yeah, I feel like I can understand. I'm not going to go with strongly agree, because I feel like there are going to be some experiences which I just won't be able to relate to at all, but I feel like I try my best, so this is a good answer. You usually postpone finalising decisions for as long as possible. I actually prefer to decide immediately. I mean, have some big decisions coming up, and I'm forcing myself to give myself time to think about it, but I would rather just do it like that. No, I don't. You rarely second guess your choices that you've made. I feel like I second guess them, but I don't regret them. Like, there are some you can't be happy with every single decision that you've ever made ever. I've definitely second guessed some decisions, but I see it through. Actually, to be fair, I have made some decisions in the past which haven't worked out for me as well as I thought they would, but I still think they were the best decisions I could have made at the time. So actually, I don't really tend to second guess any choices. After a long and exhausting week, a lively social event is just what you need. Absolutely not. No. You enjoy going to art museums. I do like some art museums, but I would always rather be doing an activity rather than just looking at stuff. For example, I'd rather play mini golf or go-karting than I would just admiring a piece of art, even though I like art. I don't hate it either. I'll click disagree slightly. You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings. Again, if they explain themselves well, then it's fine. If I'm supposed to be guessing what they're feeling, then perhaps not. I don't think I do. You like to have a to-do list for each day. Actually, no, for each day, no, I don't. I like to have a general to-do list and then try to get as much of that done as I can, but it doesn't really matter what I get done as long as I get something done. I'd say no then. You rarely feel insecure. I feel like there are things about myself that I really want to work on that I realise that they're not exactly how I want them to be. I don't beat myself up over it. I just know that it's something that I need to work on. I'm gonna go with here. You avoid making phone calls. I actually hate making phone calls. I don't really understand why people don't text, but I have a couple of friends who only call, they don't really text at all, so I've been forced to make phone calls more recently, but I do avoid doing it. You often spend a lot of time trying to understand views that are very different from your own. No, I don't. I think this is one of the things that I need to work on. I think it's really healthy to be surrounded by opinions which are different from yours. I just hate it. I just don't enjoy it. I feel like it's a chore. It's something that it's good when you do it, but I just don't enjoy doing it. It's just more chill when you're surrounded by people who agree with you, even though it's not great. I know it's not great, but I have to be honest. You often spend lots of time trying to understand views that are very different from your own. I don't really. I sometimes get angry with them, and that's not the greatest. In your social circle, you are often the one who contacts your friends and initiates activities. I feel like I do that. Do I very, very strongly agree, or do I just strongly agree? I think I strongly agree. If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. 100%. I don't understand why you wouldn't click this this option, really. I've got plans for a reason and I want them to get done, so the second I can get back, the sooner I can get back to that, the better, basically. You are still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago. Oh, some things make me cringe. Some things that I've done, I'm like, why did I do that? I wish I could take that back. Still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago? I strongly agree. I feel like I know who I am and how I want other people to see me, and that I know of some specific instances where I haven't been able to really reflect who I am, and people have only seen me in that moment and assumed that I'm like that 100% of the time, and I'm not. And it irks me to this day. You rarely contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. Yes, I don't contemplate that really at all. It just is one of those things that I don't really care about. I feel like it doesn't matter. Perhaps humans exist for this reason or that reason. It doesn't matter. In my lifetime, it doesn't make a difference why I'm here. All I know is I am here. So yeah, I don't know, I don't think about it at all. Your emotions control you more than you control them. I would disagree with that. I 100% control my emotions. If I know that I'm being sad for no reason, or a very small reason, or if I know it's a kind of sadness that will pass soon, I don't let it dictate how I live my life. You take great care not to make people look bad, even when it's completely their fault. Yes, I do. I just don't see how destroying someone else's image helps anyone, and especially if it's within a group, it just makes the group fall apart. So I strongly agree with that. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organised and consistent efforts. No, disagree, 100% disagree. This question uses a lot of sophisticated vocabulary, but this question is basically saying, motivation or discipline, which one do you listen to the most? Motivation is useful for inspiration, to have new ideas and think about what you want to do, but discipline is what makes you carry that out to the end, and you only really get awarded for carrying stuff out to the end. Half efforts don't normally get counted, so yeah, disagree with that. Definitely organised and consistent efforts is the way to go. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it will take them to feel disappointed in you. This is kind of deep. Yeah, I strongly agree with this. And I don't know if it's sad or not. It's easy to make a first good impression, give your all a first few times, but it's difficult to live up to that standard forever. I feel like a lot of the time when people think highly of me, it's not necessarily for accurate reasons. And I don't know, and I do feel like, this is actually so deep. I do often feel like I'm just waiting for people to get disappointed and leave. I do strongly agree with this. You would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. If it's the sort of job that I really care about it getting done properly, then perhaps I prefer working on my own, just because I know that I have that work ethic where I want everything to be done correctly, and working in a team with people who aren't trying to do their best can often be really aggravating. Yeah. You believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time. Even if you don't get anything useful out of it, it's just kind of fun to think about it. It's better than having dead brain, don't think about anything, so I don't think it's a waste of time. You feel more drawn to places with busy, bustling atmosphere than quiet, intimate places. I feel more drawn to them, yes, but I know that I'll probably be happier in the quieter ones. I'm gonna go with agree. You know at first glance how someone is feeling. And this is kind of a weird one. I feel like I am capable of reading emotions. However, over time I've taught myself, don't assume this, don't assume that. Even if I have a suspicion that they're feeling that way, I don't really want to assume anything, so I don't really take it on board. But I would say then I don't know how they're feeling. You often feel overwhelmed. When stuff is too much, I feel like I get annoyed. You complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. I do this, and I actually don't want to do this. Like, I want to be able to take shortcuts and for it to work in my favour, but I'm always so nervous that I'm going to waste more time doing that if I do stuff incorrectly. You are very intrigued by things labelled as controversial. I guess so, yeah. People often say leave religion and politics and other controversial views. Just don't start talking about that kind of thing with strangers or over the dinner table, but fair enough, that helps keep the peace. However, it's kind of boring, not gonna lie. Controversial topics are controversial because people really care and are passionate about them, so it's always more interesting to talk about those kind of topics than non-controversial ones. I wouldn't say I'm actively intrigued, I just think that they're more interesting than other topics. It says very intrigued in the question, so I'm gonna say slightly agree. You would pass along a good opportunity if you thought someone else needed it more. Yes, I would. It is the better thing to do, but it can sometimes lead to a bit of self-sabotage, which is never really very fun. So You struggle with deadlines. I mean, deadlines are always stressful. Do I struggle with deadlines? Or are deadlines just slightly irritating? I don't think I struggle with deadlines, but I don't think they're that fun, even though they're useful. You feel confident that things will work out for you. I feel confident that things will work out for me, but I'm also aware that it might work out for me in a way that I don't anticipate now. I strongly agree that things will work out for me and everyone if they make steps to make their life better at all times, basically. So yes, I do agree. See results. I'm an advocate. INFJA. What does that mean? Advocates are quiet visionaries, often serving as inspiring and tireless idealists. Okay, I don't know if that's a compliment or like an insult. Idealists is one of those words, it's like, I live in a happy world, I'm always positive about it, but it's not necessarily based in reality, it can be a bit delusional. This is accurate. I don't know if it's good. I'm 62% introverted. Introverted individuals tend to prefer fewer yet deep and meaningful social interactions and often feel drawn to calmer environments. I like to have a lot of friends, but if I notice that my friendship isn't really deep or meaningful in any way, and it's in any way superficial or distant, I'm quite quick to leave those friendships. 52% intuitive. It says intuitive. Intuitive individuals are very imaginative, open-minded and curious. They value originality and focus on hidden meanings and distant possibilities. I mean, this is true, however, it is literally 52% to 48%, so I can't take 100% credit for this because this is just... it's 50-50, I'm in the middle, you know? 53% feeling. This is another one of those in the middle, on the fence kind of ones. Feeling individuals value emotional expression and sensitivity. They place a lot of importance on empathy and social harmony and cooperation. This is true as well, but again, it's only 53%. Oh, 83% judging. Judging's a negative word in my opinion. Judging individuals are decisive, thorough, and highly organised. They value clarity, predictability, and closure, preferring structure and planning to spontaneousness. I don't think this is a negative thing. I don't feel like this is a negative trait to have, especially how they've explained it. Having it being called judging just puts a negative spin on it. I don't know. I'm very high in judging, but that's fair enough. I'm very like, do it. I'm not like, oh, should I do this? Oh, should I do that? I'm like, no, do it now. If you're truly umming and ahhing about something, it's best to just get it done. Then you can move on with your life and be at peace. 60% assertive. Assertive individuals are self-assured, even-tempered, and resistant to stress. They refuse to worry too much and tend to be self-confident when striving to achieve goals. 60% is not the highest percentage, but I still feel like I am like this largely. Okay, so there is a lot of information here. I think in this video I'm just going to read the basic first summary that comes up. There are quite a few different categories that come afterwards. I don't think I can fit everything in this video. Treat people as if they were what they ought to be, and you help them become what they are capable of being. I'm really passionate about helping my friends achieve who they think that they want to be, and who they are and who they can be, you know? Idealistic and principled, they aren't content to coast through life. I want to achieve a lot, but I don't want to go the standard route to get there. I always want to achieve something weird and wacky and do it my way. So I guess it's working so far. Success doesn't come from money or status, but from seeking fulfillment, and that is true. While they have lofty goals and ambitions, advocates shouldn't be mistaken for idle dreamers. Aww. That touched my heart. People with this personality type care about integrity, and they're rarely satisfied until they've done what they know to be right. They move through life with a clear sense of their values, and they aim to never lose sight of what truly matters. Not according to other people or society at large, but according to their own wisdom and intuition. That's true. I don't really care if other people think I'm doing the right thing or not, as long as I know that I'm doing the right thing. Seeking purpose. Advocates tend to carry around a sense of being different from most people. Yeah, I do feel like I'm different from most people. This isn't to say that advocates can't enjoy social acceptance or close relationships, only that they sometimes feel misunderstood or at odds with the world. Fortunately, this sense of being out of step doesn't diminish advocates' commitment to making the world a better place. Advocates are troubled by injustice, and they typically care more about altruism than personal gain. That's true. Although I'm not a communist. I don't know if that's relevant or not. Connecting with others and themselves. Advocates may be introverted, but they value deep, authentic relationships with others. True. Advocates enjoy meaningful conversations far more than small talk, 100%. And they tend to communicate in a way that is warm and sensitive. I hope so, but I feel like that's not something that I can know. I feel like that's up to interpretation from whoever has to listen to me, basically. A few close relationships, provided that they're genuine, can fulfill an advocate's heart to the brim, 100%. Thoughtful and compassionate, advocates pour a great deal of energy and care into their relationships. That's true. I take them seriously. I do take them seriously. Perhaps not everyone likes that, because some people are quite chill with their friendships and relationships, but I feel like I take them very seriously. This doesn't mean they always feel appreciated in return. Yeah, unfortunately true. Although, not recently. I feel like anyone who makes me feel underappreciated, I don't tend to hang out with them anymore. Advocates tend to act with great thought and care, and it can frustrate them when other people don't recognise their good intentions. As a result, even constructive criticism may feel incredibly personal or hurtful to these personalities. Yeah, that's something that I need to work on. Criticism, I find difficult to deal with unless I ask for it. Yeah, sometimes I do take it really personally, and I really shouldn't. That is definitely something that I need to work on. Many advocates feel like their life has a unique purpose, a mission that they were put into this world to fulfill. I disagree with this quite strongly, to be fair. Like, I don't feel like, I mean, I've got my own personal missions, but I don't feel like I was put on the earth to achieve anything in particular. When advocates encounter inequality or unfairness, they rarely give up. Advocates you may know: Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa. I feel like this is a little bit too much. I feel like I can't compare myself to these people. These people have achieved a lot. Strengths and weaknesses. Insightful. These personalities know all too well that their appearances can be misleading. Advocates strive to move beyond superficiality and seek out the deeper truths in life. This can give them an almost uncanny ability to understand people's true motivations, feelings, and needs. I feel like I do often suspect people's ulterior motives. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I do feel like everyone feels like they can do that. So I don't think it's particularly unique to me. Principled. Advocates tend to have strong beliefs and values, particularly when it comes to matters of ethics. When advocates talk about topics close to their heart, their conviction and heartfelt idealism can inspire and persuade even the sternest of skeptics. The part of me being like, these are my beliefs, is very true. But I don't know if I'm able to convince everyone. Passionate. Advocates crave a sense of purpose in life. Rather than living on autopilot or sticking to the status quo, they want to chase after their ideals. Okay, perhaps I misunderstood purpose of life then earlier. This is basically saying like you can make your own purpose of life and then focus on that, which is what I do all the time. I thought it was more like, I'm in this world to make it a better place, sort of a thing. This isn't a personality type that shies away from big dreams. That's why I'm here, guys. In fact, advocates are energized and impassioned by the beauty of their visions for the future. That's true. If I manage to achieve what I want to achieve, then I will be so much happier for so many different reasons. But I am aware that grass is always greener on the other side. And that's just something that I like to ignore for as long as I can. So yeah. Altruistic. People with this personality type aren't happy to succeed at another person's expense. Advocates want to use their strength for the greater good, and they rarely lose sight of how their words and actions might affect others. I feel like in English I'm very good at this. In German I'm not so good at this, even though I want to be good at this. Okay, time for weaknesses. I feel like I should put some armor on. Sensitive to criticism. What an opening. Advocates aren't adverse to feedback. That is, unless they believe that someone is challenging their most cherished principles or values. When it comes to issues that are near and dear to them, people with this personality type can become defensive or dismissive. Yeah. Reluctant to open up. Advocates value honesty and authenticity, but they're also private. They may find it difficult to open up and be vulnerable about their struggles, not wanting to burden someone else with their issues. Unfortunately, when advocates don't ask for help, they may inadvertently hold themselves back or create distance in their relationships. At first, when I started reading this point, I was like, nah, this is not me. But then if I think about in the past where I've gone through some mental struggles, it is like this. I hate asking for help in general, regardless of whether that being mental help or help doing anything. I just don't really like it unless I think that the person will enjoy helping me and will have banter doing it. Like, I always feel like I need to give back when someone helps me, and sometimes it's not a situation where that's possible. And I definitely have stopped replying to some people and distanced myself from groups when I feel depressed, because I don't want to infect people with my sadness. Perfectionistic. The advocate personality type is all but defined by idealism. While this is a wonderful quality in many ways, it doesn't always leave room for the messiness of real life. Advocates might find it difficult to appreciate their jobs, living situations, or relationships if they're continually fixated on imperfections and wondering why they should be looking for something better. Yes. I feel like it takes me about a year for the novelty of things to wear off, and after that I get very fed up with everything, whether that be my job, my living situation, or my relationships. It is like that. I don't know if I'll ever find this ideal world, but reading this, it sounds like I probably won't, and I should learn to accept some things, but I just don't know if I'm able to at this moment in time. Avoiding the ordinary. Advocates yearn to do extraordinary things with their lives, but it's hard to achieve anything extraordinary without breaking it down into small, manageable steps. Unless they translate their dreams into everyday routines and to-do lists, advocates may struggle to turn their grand visions into reality. I feel like I am able to break down these extraordinary, ridiculous, some might say, goals into small everyday steps. I am able to do that, so I guess I don't struggle in the way that this is implying. Well, I hope you enjoyed diving into who I really am, and I hope you enjoyed this video, basically. Anyway, I'm Jess. Bye!